What began as whispers in the gallery quickly transformed into gasps of disbelief. This wasn't just unexpected golf. It was a complete departure from everything we thought we knew about Charlie Woods as a player. Was this a meltdown, a breakthrough, or a rebellion? The truth is far more complex and fascinating. This isn't simply about a teenager playing well or poorly. This is about a 16-year-old making choices that left golf legends texting each other in real time, struggling to understand what they were witnessing. These decisions defied conventional tournament golf wisdom, and the performance will be analyzed for months because of its massive implications for Charlie's career trajectory. Charlie arrived with his usual composure, completing his practice routine and appearing ready for another solid performance. Expectations were reasonable, a top 10 finish, perhaps top 5 if things aligned. Nobody predicted fireworks, but everyone expected the competent, steady golf from someone trained by one of the greatest players ever. The kind of golf that wins through consistency, patience, and smart course management. Then the first round began, and immediately something felt different. Charlie's pre-shot routine, usually methodical like clockwork, seemed faster, almost rushed. His club selections raised eyebrows. On the second hole, a straightforward par 4, where wisdom dictates laying up safely, Charlie pulled his driver and chose an aggressive line that most professionals would avoid in an opening round. Commentators chuckled nervously. "Bold choice for a young player," one remarked. "Perhaps feeling pressure to make an early statement," suggested another. But Charlie wasn't finished. Hole after hole, he made decisions that contradicted everything known about percentage golf and conservative tournament play. This wasn't just aggressive, it was something entirely different. Nobody could quite figure out what they were watching. The back nine brought no correction. If anything, Charlie doubled down on aggression. On the 13th, facing a 220-yard approach over water to a tucked pin, the safe play was obvious. Lay up, take par, move on. Every caddy in America would have handed their player a wedge. Charlie asked for his 3-wood. His caddy hesitated, started to speak, then simply handed him the club. What happened next had jaws dropping across every clubhouse showing the tournament. Charlie took his stance and, with absolute conviction, swung. The ball launched on what seemed an impossible trajectory, fighting wind, physics, and common sense. For a moment, disaster loomed as the ball drifted toward water. Then something remarkable happened. The ball caught an updraft, rode it perfectly, and landed on the green, rolling to within 15 feet of the cup. The gallery erupted, but golf purists were conflicted. Yes, it was incredible. But was it smart? Sustainable? Was this tournament-winning golf, or a highlight reel wrapped around a ticking time bomb? Charlie's demeanor throughout was perhaps the most shocking element. No visible stress, no second-guessing, no apparent concern about opinions. He moved from shot to shot with purpose, making aggressive choices guided by some internal compass only he could see. He appeared to be playing a completely different game than everyone else on the course. The 15th hole, a drivable par 4 with trouble everywhere, brought the moment that instantly became meme material across golf social media. Bunkers left, water right, and a notoriously difficult green. Conventional wisdom: hit an iron off the tee, leave a comfortable wedge distance, take your birdie chance. Safe, smart, percentage golf. Charlie pulled out his driver again. His playing partners exchanged glances. The crowd murmured. Even the announcers went silent. Then Charlie unleashed a drive that was simultaneously brilliant and terrifying, threading between bunkers, flirting with disaster before landing softly on the green within birdie range. Social media reaction was instant and completely divided. One camp celebrated the fearlessness, the refusal to play scared. This is what golf needs: excitement, heart, attack. The other camp was equally vocal. Reckless, unsustainable. He'll crash and burn. Someone needs to rein him in before he ruins his career. But here's what made this performance truly shocking. It kept working. Not every shot was perfect. Not every gamble paid off, but Charlie maintained execution that made his aggressive strategy viable. He was living on the edge, playing golf that looked reckless on paper, but somehow worked in reality. By the time Charlie finished, the golf world was in chaos, trying to process what they'd witnessed. His score was competitive enough to keep him in contention, but that felt secondary to the larger question. What had everyone just watched? Was this rebellion against conservative teachings? A calculated strategy to separate himself? Pressure manifesting unexpectedly, or simply Charlie Woods announcing he'll play golf his way, consequences be damned? Analysts immediately drew comparisons to pivotal moments in other careers. Some saw parallels to young Phil Mickelson's aggressive style that eventually won majors. Others compared it to players who flamed out trying to do too much, letting ego override smart course management. The debate raged across every sports network, podcast, and corner of the internet. Perhaps the most shocking element wasn't what happened on the course. It was the conversation this sparked about pressure, expectations, and identity. For years, Charlie Woods has existed in an impossible space between being his own person and being Tiger Woods' son. Every swing compared, every decision analyzed through his father's legacy, every result measured against impossible standards no teenager should carry. Maybe what we witnessed wasn't recklessness or strategy or pressure cracking. Maybe it was simply a young man declaring independence in the only language he knows, golf. Think about the psychological burden Charlie has carried since childhood. Imagine being constantly measured against arguably the greatest golfer of all time, not just by strangers, but by your own bloodline. Imagine every coach, analyst, and fan having opinions about how you should play, what you should do, who you should become. The question now isn't whether Charlie played well or poorly, it's what this means for his future. Will he continue this aggressive path? Will coaches pull him back toward conventional approaches? Will this be remembered as the turning point where Charlie Woods found his identity, or a cautionary tale about self-destruction? Nobody knows yet, but one thing is certain. Charlie Woods just delivered the most shocking, debated, and analyzed performance in recent junior golf history. Whether you think he's genius or reckless, whether you loved it or hated it, you can't deny he's captured everyone's attention. The kid who lived in greatness's shadow just stepped into his own spotlight, and the golf world will never look at Charlie Woods quite the same way again. Just as celebrations settled, another voice entered the conversation, Jack Nicklaus himself. The Golden Bear knows more than most about dominating golf while living under relentless public scrutiny. Where others cheered, Nicklaus brought something different, a warning. His words came not from cynicism, but from a lifetime of experience. "The road ahead is tough," Nicklaus cautioned. He wasn't just talking about competition, he meant the invisible battles that can't be measured on a scorecard. For the child of a sporting icon, the journey is never just about skill. It's about enduring constant comparisons, impossible expectations, and a spotlight that never fades. Nicklaus's warning wasn't abstract. Decades earlier, his own son Gary was thrust into fame at 16, plastered on Sports Illustrated's cover labeled "The Next Nicklaus." Instead of launching a legendary career, that moment became a turning point, for the worse. The pressure, attention, and scrutiny became too much. Gary eventually stepped away from competitive golf, proving that talent alone doesn't protect you from expectations' weight. In today's era, where social media amplifies every highlight, mistake, and opinion, the intensity is magnified beyond what Gary ever faced. Charlie's rise is undeniable, but so is the spotlight. Nicklaus's words are both caution and gift, a reminder that the path to greatness isn't just walked with a golf club, but with resilience. For Charlie Woods, pressure is impossible to ignore. Every swing is watched, recorded, and compared to one of history's greatest players. The gallery isn't just parents and friends, it's cameras, reporters, and fans waiting to see if he's the next Tiger. For Tiger Woods, this isn't just about raising a champion. It's about raising his son. He knows how unforgiving golf can be, how quickly praise turns to criticism, how the game's demands can consume a life. That's why even in victory's glow, Tiger's message stays consistent. Let Charlie find his own way. Winning matters, but loving the game is essential. Tiger carefully balances being a mentor with unmatched experience and a father who understands pushing too hard too soon. He selectively chooses where Charlie competes, weighing field challenge against benefits of rest and growth. It's a strategy built not for short-term wins, but for a lasting career. The victory is in the books, but for Charlie Woods, the real journey is just beginning. Every win opens doors, and this one has swung wide. Invitations to prestigious tournaments are arriving, bringing chances to test himself against the world's best young players. Each event is a stepping stone and a spotlight. Staying grounded will be the greatest challenge. It's one thing to rise quickly, it's another to stay there. The combination of media pressure, public expectation, and personal ambition can push even the most talented athlete to their limits. But if this performance showed us anything, it's that Charlie Woods isn't afraid to forge his own path. The question isn't whether he has talent, it's whether he can navigate the unique pressures of being Tiger Woods' son while becoming his own golfer. The golf world is watching, and Charlie Woods has made it clear he's ready to be seen,